Pymetrics interview questions tend to follow a pattern. Do you know what that pattern is? And better yet, do you know how to answer those questions? My name is Patrick, and I'm going to walk you through 7 common Pymetrics video interview questions. You might be thinking, how can this guy talk about 7 common questions if he doesn't even know what company I'm applying to? That's because Pymetrics video interview questions usually fall within one of 3 categories. Now, this video is about Pymetrics one-way video interviews. It is not about Pymetrics game style assessments. We'll have another video on that in the very near future. The 3 question types are introductory questions, behavioral questions, and motivational questions. And this is true for almost every company, for all roles and all levels of seniority. By the way, stick around till the end of this video for a bonus tip that no video on YouTube can help you with, not even this one. All right, let's get to it with these 7 common interview questions. If there's a question that you would like me to answer, which I did not answer in this video, please let me know in the comments. I usually get back to them in about 1 day. Question 1, tell me about yourself. This is a classic introductory question. And if you had to prepare for only 1 question, make sure it's this one. A great answer is one that clearly and concisely says who you are, what your experience is, and what do you want to do. So that checks off your present, your past, and your expectations for the future. A very common mistake when answering this question is to simply read off your resume. Do not do that under any circumstances. The hiring manager already has all that information, and this is video, so make sure to use the format to your advantage. Bring you as a person to life. Try and make things interesting, dynamic, and energetic. So if I had to answer that question, an example answer could be, after a successful career as a hiring manager, I decided that the next step in my career is to help as many people get the jobs they want. So working on a YouTube channel that does exactly that is something that really appeals to me. You see, short and sweet. If the hiring manager only watches this one video, it has to be enough for them to understand who you are and what you're about. Just obviously remember that you can go into a little bit more detail. I have to keep these examples short since this is a YouTube video. Don't keep droning on and using up the available record time just because you can. Stop your answer once you've gotten your point across and move on to the next question. Question 2. What is the toughest challenge you've faced? Awesome, this is our first behavioral question. Before I answer this one, let me tell you how behavioral questions work. Behavioral questions follow a very predictable pattern. They will ask about your past and ask about what actions you took. They require you to use concrete examples, and the best way to answer this is using the STAR method. Up here is a video I made on the STAR method, and I highly recommend you watch it after finishing this video. Okay, back to the question. What this question is really asking you about is how you prioritize things. Tough challenges are usually complex with multiple moving parts. So talk about how you got a big problem, broke it down into pieces, and dealt with one issue at a time. Let's hear an example answer. My manager asked me to improve our video outreach numbers, but I had 0 video experience. So I spent a week researching video production and talking to experts in the field. After launching just a few videos, the numbers started turning around and growth returned to the channel. See, I had a big problem and I broke it down and decided how and where to start. Prioritization, that's how to answer this question. Also, did you notice how my answer was broken down into the 4 components of the STAR method? Make sure you use the STAR method to guide your answers. And if you feel like you're getting value from this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're constantly releasing new videos which will help you ace your video interviews. Also, if you want to practice for your Pymetrics interview, make sure to check out Voomer. You can practice on questions for thousands of companies, and you'll get AI-powered feedback that will help you quickly improve your interview skills to help you get that job. I'll leave a link to a free trial in the pinned comment below. Question 3. Tell me about a time you had to deliver disappointing news. This is another behavioral question. The person watching your interview, or the AI, isn't really interested in the bad news. They want to understand your ability to adapt and be proactive. Because think about it, if you're delivering bad news, you should already have the next steps in mind of how we fix that. So let's see an example answer. The first video I released was a complete disaster and my boss was not happy, but I showed her how we had improved and learned in that production process and how we would do things differently. And the next video that came out had much better results. So I deliver the bad news, but I go above and beyond and talk about how we're going to turn things around. Question 4. Tell me about a time you faced conflict in a team. This is another classic behavioral question. And if your work involves teamwork, make sure you prep for this one. Once again, let's look beyond the question. What they're really asking about here is your people skills, how you empathize, how you de-escalate, and how you enable people to work together. Let's listen to a quick example answer. I had a new coworker that was getting a hard time from our manager because they were falling behind on work. I picked up the slack, but I also proposed an expanded onboarding program so that new hires could get up to speed much faster. My new coworker then was able to understand the job in a much better way and deliver results in a shorter period of time. Question 5. Tell me about a time you had to explain something complex. This question might sound similar to the first behavioral question we talked about, but actually it's quite different. In this question, they want to hear about your communication skills. Communication is key for any job, so make sure you have some examples shortlisted. Let's hear an example answer. I had to train someone at work how to edit videos, but they had zero video editing experience. So I created a video editing checklist and I walked through that person through every single step. We worked together on the questions they had, and now they edit videos faster than I do. Question 6. Why do you want this job? Remember those 3 categories of questions that I talked about? Introductory, behavioral, and motivational. So this is a motivational type question, and make sure that you prep for this one because it is also extremely common. Try and think about what parts of the job appeal to you. If you're applying for a sales job, talk about how you like to be in the outdoors, moving around, meeting new people. If you're applying for a job that requires you to work mostly alone, say in a lab, and you enjoy that, make sure you mention it. But the best answers here are the ones that match what you want for yourself with what the company has. If you talk about how your personal values and growth objectives align with the company's values, that is an amazing answer that recruiters and hiring managers love to hear. And for your own sake, the best thing here is to be authentic. Nobody should work at a job that makes them miserable. Now let's hear an example answer. I want this job because I love working with outreach. And the fact that this YouTube channel is a jobs-focused one makes me even happier, since that's where I've spent most of my career and I have a lot of experience in this field. Question 7. Tell us something that is not on your resume. This last question is a curveball, but you should be really grateful if it pops up on your interview. This question allows you to bring up any achievements or accomplishments that make you stand out from the crowd and didn't quite fit into any of the previous questions. I'm not going to answer this question today. I want you to answer that question in the comments. I'll check them out and add my feedback to them later on. Now remember that last tip that I had for you? The one thing you need to really excel at your video interview, even more than knowing the questions, is to be confident. Fortunately for you, confidence comes with practice. Start your Pymetrics video interview practice today for free with Voomer. You can practice your interview for thousands of different companies with company-specific interview questions, and you get instant AI-powered feedback on your answers to make sure you quickly improve and help you get that dream job. So click on the pinned comment below, which has a link to your free trial, which you can start right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's an interview question that you want me to answer, please let me know in the comments. And as usual, good luck on your interview. Check out the rest of our channel for more interview tips, including things such as improving your camera and audio setup.